Hello everybody, this will be a hopefully short video as a reply to Arctic Reflections. One of his latest videos, he asked the community to debunk another flat earth, shall we say, bullshit video. Yeah, there's really nothing else I can come up with at this time of the day. Anyway, so Arctic Reflections uploaded a response video to Taboo Conspiracy's experiment in which he shot a laser across Bear Lake and of course got confused by refraction. What else? And Arctic asked us, the community, to debunk his experiment. And that's what I'm gonna try to do, but I'm gonna take a little different approach. You will see in a minute. I hope you'll have fun and enjoy it. But before we dive in, I want to take a little segue and actually look at the Earth curve calculator that Taboo Conspiracy used in his video. It was this one, I believe, and we can of course punch in numbers and then we get a certain result and stuff. And we can also look at the FAQ section. And that's the one I'm interested in because I always read the instructions because I use anything. And it says here, blah, 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 blah. Our calculator might be slightly wrong in some cases. Why does this happen? Does it mean the Earth is flat and doesn't curve at all? Of course not. It just means that our calculator doesn't account for the phenomenon of, yeah, you know the rest. So back to this guy and not to his actual experiment. That's the different approach that I was talking about I was going to take. And I will talk you through it right now. So when FE Core or Robert or Taboo Conspiracy was at this lookout across Bear Lake and was sort of introducing us to his experiment location, he was up on this lookout and he was looking across the lake. And of course, when he was down at the lake, he was getting confused about refraction and stuff. And I actually had a similar experience with a German flat earther who also got confused about refraction and stuff while looking far distances across a lake. And he was also claiming that the Earth is flat. And I was telling him the same thing, or trying to introduce him to the same reasoning that I try to do now. So I was trying to tell him, okay, let's assume for a second that your experiment is valid and that the Earth is actually, or that the water surface, that you photographed across is actually flat. That means that the whole Earth has to be flat. That is the whole reasoning behind this flat Earth stupidity. If everything else around that large body of water is in fact flat, then we should also be able to test this if we look at certain locations or portions of the landscape around. And we can actually do this, and I also did this in one of my previous videos, which I'm showing you a screenshot of right now. So in this video I explain in detail how I did the calculations and stuff. You are very welcome to check out my channel and look at this video. And what I did here was I took a picture, a landscape picture from where I live, which is in the Black Forest in Germany. And on a very special day, this only happens once or twice a year, where we have exceptionally clear air and we can look exceptionally far. And so from the Black Forest. This is, I can see, around 200 kilometers far, and those are the Alps back there, around 200 kilometers away. And I found this quite pretty. I also looked at all the mountaintops and everything. But what's also interesting about this image is that it proves the globe. Because, well, let me set up this a little differently. Let's switch over to Walter Bislin's calculator for a second, and let's look at how an Earth that is flat would actually look like. So on a flat plane, due to the law of perspective, everything below the horizon line or eye level or whatever you want to call it, everything below that stays, or everything lower than that, relative to the position of the viewer, stays below the horizon line. So in this case, that portion of the power line here is every portion of every part of that power line is below the horizon line. Every portion above it is below the horizon line. If we would extend this to infinity, it would always be the same. If we would zoom in there, it would look the same everywhere. Because, yeah, basic perspective on a flat and level surface. So, if we extrapolate this to my actual photograph, so observation of reality, if you will, everything at the same height of the observer height should be on the same virtual line, so to speak. So I was at a certain height, around 1000 meters, and at the same height was this wind turbine here, so also around 1000 meters. Again, the exact numbers are in the video if you care to look at them. I put it all up. I also measured it on Google Earth and everything. And this mountain back here is 2,600 meters high. So the top of that mountain is 2,600 meters. The top of that wind turbine is no more than 1,100 meters. So not even half as high as the top of that mountain. But still, that mountaintop is clearly below that wind turbine. But if the Earth was flat, this law of perspective would hold true. And that mountain way back there should be higher visually than that wind turbine in front. But it isn't. Which means that we, of course, live on a curved Earth in which the top of something can, of course, appear lower than the middle section of another thing in front, in this case, the power lines here. This is all due to the curvature of the Earth. And we can test this around the globe. We can test this in Germany when looking across the Alps, and we can also test this when looking across Bear Lake, like F.E. Core Robert Taboo Conspiracy did. Or did not do. He, of course, went down to the lake and got befuddled by refraction, of course. But he could also have done something different. He could also have been looking at the tops of the mountains. And this is what I did for him. Of course, I didn't travel to Bear Lake. I did this virtually using an awesome app called peakfinder.org. It was programmed by one single guy, I believe. And if you like this app and if you care about hiking and stuff and are interested in what the mountains are called and the photographs that you took, I highly recommend you check out this app because it shows every peak on the whole Earth. It has this whole database down there, and it also can do AR, so you can superimpose photographs with that database, and it shows you the peaks of all of, or the names of the peaks and the height of all the peaks in your pictures. It's quite awesome. Again, do check it out. I'm not affiliated with the guy. I just think it's a great app. Anyway, I found the location that he probably took that initial introductory part of his video from, which is a famous lookout from which you can look across Bear Lake with the white thing that you see down here. And if you pan across, we see a couple of mountains, and I want to focus in this area here, looking southwest, and we have a couple interesting mountains here. So from this location where I think this guy was standing, we are at a height of 2,319 meters. This particular mountain back here, Mount Lovenia, is 4,020 meters high and 148 kilometers away from our location. So far so good. This mountain here is about half as high, 2,500 meters, and only 28 kilometers away. So again, what should we expect if we were living on a flat Earth? We should expect the mountain in front being at a lower part of that power line, so to speak, being around here, and the mountain further back, Mount Lovenia, at 4,020 meters height, should be up here visually. It should still be above that section in front here. So let's test this. So I transferred the data to Walter Bislin's calculator. This is the mountain in front, 2,503 meters high, 28 kilometers away. And this is the mountain in the back, 4,020 meters high and 148 kilometers away. You can clearly see that this mountain peak is above our eye level because we are at 2,300 something meters. So we expect the peak here to be above eye level slightly, but we should also expect to be the peak of that bigger mountain back there, way above our eye level and also above the peak in front. What we see in reality, however, is this. Both peaks are roughly the same height. The peak in the front is actually a little higher up than the one in the back. And if we're looking at peakfinder.org, we kind of find the same thing. This is of course a simulation. It's not perfectly accurate. This is the peak of Mount Lovenia, and this is Monument Peak. They are roughly the same height. Of course, this is no definitive proof because this is only a simulation. The perfect proof would be to actually go up there, take a picture, a real picture of that scenery, and then compare the heights, as I did in my own video. But I'm pretty sure we will see exactly that thing as we predict with the Globe Earth model. And if FE Core or Robert or Taboo Conspiracy would actually think his way of thinking and misunderstanding things through completely, yeah, he would come to the conclusion as everybody else, and that is that the Earth is not flat, of course. So I hope you enjoyed this a little bit. I do hope you keep on following Arctic Reflections. He's a great guy. He does great content. And yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Bye.